Welcome to PlayBranson, where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. My name's Chris Meyer. I'm going to be your host for today's show, and it's brought to you by ibranson.com, where you can find lots of information about Branson's shows and attractions. So if you're looking for the latest schedules, go to ibranson.com. Our guest artist today is David Smith with the Redneck Comedy Bus Tours. Now, you might be saying that's an attraction, but David is a very accomplished musician, and he's a great entertainer. And so entertainers are actually part of this new attraction. And so you're going to want to stay tuned to hear all about this attraction and David's career. Hey, I've got an announcement. Maybe you heard about it. But did you know that Sun Country Airlines is coming to town? That's right. Starting in late August, Sun Country will be flying from Minneapolis to Branson. So we're so excited to be welcoming folks from the Minnesota area to the Branson area. It'll be a direct flight, I believe. And so we just want to say congratulations to the airport and to Sun Country for making that all happen. That'll start, once again, late August and go through, I think, November. Well, summer is right around the corner. Have you booked your summer vacation to Branson yet? Now, here's the question I'm going to ask you. Where else can you combine the following? World-class family entertainment, the best theme park, shopping, golf, lakes, attractions of all kinds, and great hospitality. There's no other place. So bring your family to Branson. Bring your friends to Branson and find your fun in Branson. And you know, Branson is also the perfect spot to plan your next family reunion. It's really located right here in the center of the United States. We'll be back in just a moment with David Smith. Hang tight.
Laugh your way through Branson with the Redneck Comedy Bus Tour. Gather up your kinfolk and climb aboard the big camouflage bus and come get redneck certified. This unforgettable 2-hour fun-filled ride includes a visit to the Branson Landing for a little moonshine tasting or Italian ice for our sober friends. Reserve your seats online at theredneckbus.com and use promo code VACATION to save $5 a ticket.
Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. On today's show, I have David Smith. And David, you're a very unique individual because you're an entertainer, you're a musician, yes. And now you're kind of in the attraction business with the Redneck Comedy Bus Tours. And we're going to talk all about that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
But you've got an incredible history in this town. And so I want you to take us way back and talk about just your life as an entertainer and musician and where that's led you, because I think people are going to be really surprised.
Well, I actually grew up, my mom was a classically trained pianist, and I learned how to play as a child, and then I really didn't want to do it anymore until I got into high school. We moved to Biloxi, Mississippi. We came back here in the 70s, and in the 70s I started learning playing on the weekends in clubs. And I started doing that in Springfield and surrounding areas, Kansas City, St. Louis, and Branson really wasn't on my radar at the time. And then my wife and I both are licensed cosmetologists. You know, we cut hair for a living, which is kind of a joke on the Redneck Bus. We can kind of throw that in there. And so after playing clubs and everything in the 90s, Branson just popped. I mean, all these stars started coming to town, and I know the town was popping before that. We had the staples, you know, that were really doing well in Branson. And so I thought, man, I should go down there and learn to play some of the shows, which was totally different because playing in a club, you know, everybody's doing their own thing. And you come to Branson and they open the curtain and these guys are sitting there staring at you.
They're watching you.
And I'm like, oh boy, this is quite different. But I actually went to school and learned how to read charts and number system, and I really jumped into it I think it was in '93 is when I came to Branson, and it was a challenge, to be honest with you, because I was used to doing several different things.
So you were making a concerted effort at that point to say, okay, I'm going to try and get in a show.
Right. I was managing hair salons in Springfield, Missouri, and I decided to come down here, and I took 2 years of theory, and I took probably about the same amount of time to learn how to read charts, which they do here. And so I did that, and I just walked away from it, came down here in '93, started playing shows, and then I moved into...
So what was the first show?
Doug Gabriel. I was his piano player. We started at Jim Stafford's Theater, which is, you know, a parking lot now. And I'm not sure what they're doing with that property, but anyway, we started there, and then we moved into Roy Clark's theater, and I played there for until '96. I got in Roy's band. He had a turnover, and then he ended up selling his theater in 2000, or 1999 to 2000. And right at that point, we did a lot of shows on the road, 200 and 210, traveling.
So Roy Clark, folks.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So I want to make sure that people know this. We're talking about Roy Clark.
Yes.
And so you came to Branson, Doug Gabriel goes over to Roy Clark's, and all of a sudden you're in Roy Clark's band.
Well, he had a turnover, and I had a friend that was he was the music director for Roy Clark, and he got me in, and there was a lot of performers, as there is now. There's so much talent in this town. It's fantastic to see how much talent's in this town. And but after that, you know, we went on the road, and the music director, he kind of brought me on, and we had a lot of fun. I learned a lot in that band, and we traveled. I mean, we did probably 7 tours in Canada. We played probably almost every state in the United States.
Now, what instrument were you playing with Roy?
I was playing keys, and later on I started playing 5-string banjo in the band, because one of the guys that was playing, he left. We traveled a lot. We probably did, I don't know, I'd say 80 Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, 80 Grand Ole Opry.
75 to 80 of those with him. And it was something else.
Yeah, the Grand Ole Opry just like holds like a special place in the world of entertainment.
It does.
And I took a tour. They have like backstage tours, and I took a tour there, and I was just blown away just by the tour. And so, man, that's awesome. And you were with Roy for 22 years. 22 years. 2018, when he passed away, I was it was great. We changed he changed the show into more of a sit down like this, where we would prompt him to tell stories, and then they had a prompter in the back, you know, a video screen following along the stories that he would tell. Like if he was talking about hee haw, it would be hee haw video. If he was in Russia, it'd be Russia video. And Roy, I want to say something about the Opry. He used to scare us to death. Every time we do the Opry, we do Thursday night, Friday night, which is usually live, and then radio, and then TV. And he wouldn't tell us what songs we were going to do. Oh my gosh.
And it's like, I want to know what I'm doing. I want to know my homework. You know, you got a camera coming around, you got thousands, hundreds, and probably, I don't know how many people are watching it. And he would not tell us what songs we're doing. And he'd say, well, boys, you're going to have to just be on your toes. And he was ornery that way. And then we'd go out. If we even got an inkling of what we were going to do, we'd walk out on stage, and he'd turn around. Well, we're not doing that song. We're doing it. And he would change it on the way out. And just like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
Sweating bullets.
Wow. So you had to know your game.
Well, I went back and I made a list of all the songs that I thought he might pull out of the hat in the last 2 or 3 years or 4 years. And I would rehearse those if I knew we had a Grand Ole Opry appearance coming up. So that's the only way I could almost not have a heart attack on stage. You know? So
what happened after you left Roy's band then?
Okay, Roy's group was so much fun. We traveled. We had a great run. It was a season in my life I'll never forget. I got to do so many things and meet so many people because of him. And he was just a wonderful guy. And we came back into Branson. And that was, I started working for the Raiding the Country Vault show. That show started out at the Mansion, and from the Mansion it moved to the Starlight. And from the Starlight, I also worked front of house for AO, which is a wonderful, wonderful gospel group that was here in town. Michael's still here, he's still singing, and Nadia is too, I think somewhere, I'm not sure where she's at performing. And I loved running front of house. It's almost like being in the studio, and you can create this beautiful sound. The Starlight Theater was awesome. We played there quite a bit. After the matinee, I would go in and do the Country Vault show at night, playing keys, banjo, sometimes a little bit of guitar.
Yeah. So besides entertaining, you have a studio at your house.
Yes.
And so I had the pleasure, and you brought these albums to me. One of them is After the Storm instrumental music, and this other one is a bluegrass instrumental. And I listened to both of them, and they are so completely different from each other. And then you gave me another CD that has even a whole bunch more stuff on there, and I'm like, holy cow. Like, you can do everything.
I'm scattered, yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I would have focused on just one thing, you know, but I just can't do that. I always enjoy doing different things. Yeah, the studio is my safe spot. It's the man cave. I do a lot of radio ads, TV ads. You know, I did stuff for television. And also, like, for the Ball Knobber Show, I wrote their theme song back in the 90s and recorded it. And I love being in there. Now I can capture that art. To me, it's art, you know, that capturing someone. If you came in and sang and played, I would do my best to capture the best of what you are doing there.
Well, and I love this After the Storm, and how I define this. I was telling my wife this. I said, this is like very relaxing music. And think about if you're in a spa and you hear the music in the background, that's exactly what this is like. And I read that this CD has been used by counselors and therapists and different people to help people. Yeah. I'm like, wow. And then your bluegrass, once again, it's instrumental. There's no words on it, but once again, it's all different types of bluegrass, and it got a pretty big award.
Yeah, JPF, Just Plain Folks. It's one of the largest awards that they have, and I went to. They sent me the deal and said I was nominated for the album. I was also nominated for County Line Drive Best Instrumental Bluegrass Song, and I thought it was a joke, because they said you're going to come to Nashville, you know, you're going to, and they said, can you get your band together to play? Well, this was mostly all of Roy's band that played in this album with me. It's all original stuff, but I thought it was a joke. But I went down there and they called out my name. I could not believe it. I got up on stage to thank them, and I just went almost blank. I'm like, you're kidding me. I won this? You know, I never win anything.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be a really good album. The players on it are fantastic and good friends of mine.
Yeah. Well, so I'm seeing all this, and I'm just like, man, David is a talented individual. And I love, like, this is why I like the shows, because we get to showcase people like you that have done tremendous things in the industry. And you've also played for Billy Yates as well when he had a show here.
Yeah, that was after, well, I met Billy when we were doing the Country Vault show. He was doing a lot with us. He, man, what a great guy. And he's got a lot of songs he's written for so many people, you know, like George Jones and Ricky Skaggs. And he's back in town, and we're good friends. And he asked, when Raiding the Country Vault, we went to Starlight to Americana, and then we went into Choices, and that was Billy Yates' deal. And I love playing music with Billy.
He's a great guy.
Oh my
great
gosh.
Guy.
Permanent smile.
He's
always, he said, somebody said, Billy Yates, yeah, he smiles in his sleep, you know, and he does.
So, folks, we're going to stop right here. This is a great place for us to stop. We'll be back, and we're going to talk more about the new venture David has here coming up in just a moment.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. We have David Smith here, and we've been talking about his musical career, but now we're going to kind of shift gears, and we're going to talk about this thing called Redneck Comedy Bus Tours. And so now you're a part of this.
Yes.
And so what is this?
Well, I never would have dreamed after 30 years of touring I'd come back and be driving a camouflage bus with steer horns on it, but I tell you what, it is hilarious and it's a lot of fun. It's based out of Nashville, Tennessee. They've been there for 18 years. We have tours in Pigeon Forge. We came here in last year. We ran all of last year. We got so many 5-star reviews on Branson TripAdvisor that we became the #1 tour in activities in Branson, which we're extremely proud of that. We started our 2nd year, which we're doing right now. We're getting ready to roll almost wide open next month. Right now we're running about 6 to 8 tours right now, and let me tell you, when it got into the fall of the year last year into Christmas time, we were doing 22 to 24 tours a week.
Wow.
Sometimes 4 a day. We have a 10 o'clock, a 1 o'clock. If those fill up, we do a 3:30. If that fills up, we put another one on it.
And so what, like if you were trying to explain this to somebody, what is it? I mean,
Okay.
you say it's a lot of fun, but what is it?
Okay, it's a 2-hour tour, and you know, there's a lot of comedy involved. We have comedians on there that are hilarious, and during that time, you just picture yourself getting on this camouflage bus with steer horns on it, and picture Larry the Cable Guy on there, and he's going to be your entertainment for the next 2 hours. We do have a couple of stops, but within that comedy, we also do history of Branson, which has been awesome for me because Branson, there's so much history here. It's just incredible, as you know, to know how it was founded, where it started, and you know, the town itself, and Hollister and Silver Dollar City, and it's amazing to me. And so we do history involved with that, along with a lot of comedy. So we do a 2-hour tour. We have a stop, have a couple of people that sponsor us down at the landing, and you know, they can go in and sip some Smith Creek moonshine. They'll do a little Magnolia Ice, and it's just a lot of fun. It's 2 hours of laughing, and we take you to places that you may or may not know.
Yeah, and so it's almost like a show on wheels.
It is, yeah.
You know, because I think a lot of times when people think of a tour, they don't think of really being entertained
Right.
on the tour, and you guys have kind of twisted it.
Yeah.
I think it's great that you guys are here, and you had let's talk about some of your comedians, because I think maybe somebody would know them from other shows.
Yeah, we have Paul May. He goes by Mayhem. He's a lot of fun. They do a lot of stand-up on their own. You know, they go out in the off season and they've traveled. They've done, you know, a lot of their own comedy. Before this started, we have Joey Aiella, and he's been in Branson for a little over 10 years and played a lot of shows down here. And they both go out and do, you know, stand-up comedy on their own, and they come back, and we're lucky to have them. And you know, I always say it's the big mobile stage. You know, welcome to the big mobile stage. And they have a lot of fun with people. Every group is different, because some groups come on and they're like, yeehaw, and where's the moonshine? And then we have some other groups that might be a little more low key, that are not into any of that, and we just adapt to it.
Okay. So they're very flexible in their monologue, so to say.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and we have a set pattern of what we do. When we first get on, we do, you know, certain jokes, we do certain things. Of course, everybody is supposed to get redneck certified, you know, so we move towards that, getting everyone redneck certified. So we have the words like Jeff Foxworthy had, you know, like mayonnaise. All right, mayonnaise, a lot of people on this bus. That sort of thing. So, you know, we take them through all these cards, and they're all torn and beat all to pieces, and they look ratty, and that's the way we want them to look, you know.
Yeah.
We had a lady actually go, yeah, we liked your tour, but you should get those cards laminated so they look better. It's like, no, that's the way we want them to look, you know.
Yeah, and so you're operating this business here in Branson, right?
Well, I've got a management title, so I make sure everything is up and running and ready to go, and I handle the buses and make sure they're safe, and I make sure, you know, I do a lot of local marketing, just because I know a lot of people in town. We have a lot of people that are cross-promoting with us, because we're helping them and they're helping us. You know, we plug a lot of theaters in town in these shows because they're so good.
Right.
And so we plug these people as we go by their theater. We'll say, man, if you guys want to see a great show, you got to go in here. And we do that. We also have a card that holds all their flyers, and we promote these people because they're friends of mine, and they promote us. And
so it would really be a good idea, if you've just arrived to town and you're not quite sure what to do or even how to get around town, maybe you're brand new to Branson, is to take a tour.
Yeah.
And you're going to have that 2-hour tour where you're going to get a much better perspective of Branson, and you're going to have a blast at the same time.
It is. It's a combination of seeing places that you probably don't know about and laughing for an hour and a half. And the tour is 2 hours, but we do a half-hour break. And just like Hollister, for instance, you know, that in 1909, 1912, we had Clark Gable, Bing Crosby, Cary Grant. We had the 33rd President of the United States that stayed there. They used to cut Truman. They used to come here, and they loved to fish the White River. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't know that. We'll pull through there, and we'll say, "Man, you don't know who all's been here."
Right. And so you're going to get some nuggets that you wouldn't get
exactly
otherwise.
And we have a lot of people write in. They said, "Man, it was so great because we didn't know about the Table Rock Dam. We didn't know about the Overview. We didn't know about Hollister. We didn't know about the history of how the Osage Indians used to have this property here, and in 1882 Reuben Branson came in here, and how we got our name." We go through that, so they get a lot of comedy, more comedy, and quite a bit of history. Now some groups we can tell if they want more comedy and less history. So, they'll take us that way.
Yeah.
You know? So it's hilarious.
The thing at Christmas time is you tweak it a little bit, and then you have a Christmas tour as well. And I know you go through the Lights of Joy Christmas light drive-through.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, and so we help with that, at least getting you through that. We're going to shift gears here again because you told me just a moment ago you've got a new website coming up.
Yes.
And it's davidesmith.com.
Mm-hmm.
And so if someone wanted to go check out your music or get in touch with you,
right.
Maybe you do jingles, you do a whole bunch of, you got a studio, you could do a lot of stuff. So they can go to that website.
Yep.
They can purchase your music, and if they need to contact you, they could do it.
Right. If they go to the website, there's going to be a list of things that you'll see. It will show you the studio if you're interested in recording a song. I've done 23 albums in this studio in the last probably 25 years. I do singer-songwriter stuff, TV jingles, radio ads. And if they want to see the studio, they click on this. If they want to listen to my music, they can click on that. If they want to download it, they want to order a CD, they can do that as well. It's a good combination of a lot of things that I do, you know, music-wise.
Okay.
Yeah.
So folks, there's two different avenues here you can take. You can go to the Redneck Comedy Bus Tour. It's a 2-hour tour. It's going to operate most days. I think it's Sunday you're off though, right?
Sundays,
yeah. Monday through Saturday.
Right.
In the in-season typically, and he said 2 times a day, and if they book up, they'll even go more than that. Yeah. And then if you want to delve into the music world, go to his website, davidesmithmusic.com, and it's a brand new website. Check it out, and lots of great music on there as well as his other stuff. So we'll be back in just a moment to wrap the show up. Hey folks, welcome back to the show. We're wrapping it up today. We would like to thank David Smith for coming out. Redneck Comedy Bus Tours. You need to check it out. They operate Monday through Saturday most of the year. They're running typically 2 to 3 tours a day. You're going to have a blast. They also do private tours for big groups as well. So laugh your way through the Ozarks with Redneck Comedy Bus Tours. Now they do pick up at Draft Sports Bar located on Shepherd of the Hills Expressway. And so you'll want to make your reservations ahead of time. You can reach them at 417-313-1033, or you can find them online at ibranson.com, where you can book all your shows and attractions. Next week's artist is Lena Lee with a new show called Rock You 101 at the Copeland Theater. So we're anxious to talk to her and learn more about that new show over there. What special events are coming up? We'd like to tell you all this. There's a lot coming up here in May, May 4th through the 29th. Of course, Bluegrass and Barbecue out at Silver Dollar City with tons of different bluegrass artists. May 11th and 12th, we have Nonsense, the mega musical over at the Owens Theater. May 12th, Clay Walker, Lone Star, and Neil McCoy over at Black Oak Amphitheater. That's going to be a great country concert. I'm really excited about that one. May 26th, we have Hairball with special guest Moark Mojo. I have no clue who they are, but I'm guessing they're awesome. Black Oak Amphitheater as well. Matt Gumm's doing some limited engagement shows here in town starting on May 27th, May 20, and June 18th. And then in June, we have Travis Tritt, June 3rd, over at Black Oak Amphitheater. We have Michael W. Smith on June 3rd as well, out at Silver Dollar City. I'm so excited to have him in town. And then June 3rd through July 16th is the kickoff, well, it's the Summer Celebration Festival, I guess you would say, over at Silver Dollar City with Nick Lenda's coming back. And just Google him and you'll see he does some crazy stuff. June 22nd, the High School Musical Junior over at the Owens Theater in downtown Branson. June 30th, Chris Jansen out at Black Oak Amphitheater. And in July, we have Stone Temple Pilots, July 1st. Craig Morgan, July 16th at Clay Cooper's. Kids Rock on July 22nd and 23rd at Clay Cooper's. And in August, we have Justin Moore, Scott McCreary, August 18th at Black Oak. Nelly on August 19th at Black Oak. And we round out the end of August with the Southern Gospel Picnic, August 24th through September 4th. September 1st, Toby Mac out at Black Oak, and Country Music Days, September 8th through the 10th at Silver Dollar City. And we have a whole slew of other special events coming up later in the fall. We'll tell you about that on a future episode of Play Branson. If you haven't been to Branson, you've got to come. And if you need help with planning your vacation, go to ibranson.com or call those folks at 877-ENTERTAIN. You're going to be talking to local people that provide great service and can help plan your entire Branson vacation. We'll see you next week on Play Branson.